So, Doug had a big boo-boo and ordered a shitty mixer. So, if we sound slightly weird, my apologies. But I'm trying to rectify that. In the meantime, we do actually have these very nice new microphones that I think sound pretty good. And hopefully we don't sound like shit.
Hopefully you think they sound good.
Hopefully you think they sound...
Question, 1, 2, 3.
Does it feel nice to be heard, Brandon? Does it feel nice to have you... to no longer be an ignored minority in this podcast?
It's great to listen to the podcast and know where I'm actually talking in the podcast, but not hearing myself talking in the podcast.
And speaking of which, it's so exciting for everyone else in the world to be able to hear you because we are on iTunes and Stitcher.
Stitcher, you should I like Stitcher. Stitcher partnered with Chevy, and it is the default setting for Chevy Volt models, just for you.
And if you upgrade to the
Volt owners out there.
And if you upgrade to the Platinum Podcast tier of internet service, you'll actually be able to download it in relative ease. If you're on the Silver one, it might buffer a little bit, but you'll get there eventually.
What's the Platinum tier?
Have you not been hearing about that shit? Net neutrality's coming up under attack again?
I don't want to get started about that.
That's fine. Everyone else is already screaming about it.
Hey,
just general note. Net neutrality is a good thing. Don't vote against it.
Agent Pie's a dick.
Yes. Anyway.
That's the FCC chairman, for those who don't know.
And for whatever other podcast pulling app you use, I think it's been long enough that they've all pulled from iTunes servers at this point, and the one that I use, Beyond Pod, because it's the first one I fucking found, has pulled it, and we are on there, so hopefully we're on all that shit.
What's Beyond Pod? What?
Beyond Pod is a standard fucking Android podcasting app. It runs like shit, but I like it and it works. So.
I mean, you find podcasts to listen to on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it has them all all the feeds there, and I can just update them and check to see if there's new ones available.
Okay. I like Stitcher for those out there. I care if they care.
He loves Stitcher. Everyone. It's a general note. Anyway, so hopefully new mixer soon. I just really wanted to get that news out there because I was excited about it. The easiest thing in the world for everyone to accomplish, we finally did as well.
Doug is very excited, I can tell you.
Very excited.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Anyway. Great. Pokemon Go is killing you. It's killing your children. How does that make you feel? Okay.
People were not hopping out of their cars while playing the game.
I have seen people hop out of their cars.
Well, that's saying this is entirely... I could see why I totally drove and tried to get focused up and not paying attention.
But I've literally seen people get out of their car mid-traffic. I have seen people do that. In Lansing. Let's see. So what?
What are we doing?
What are we talking? We're talking movies. We're talking adventure. We're talking time here. We're talking about the human race. Are we recording?
No, I'm not recording.
Okay.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. But that's because I was getting everything set up, so.
You can do a stupid sync test again.
Yeah, that would be helpful. That would be a good thing to... It's not... What are you... It's 3... Okay, I was going to say, it's like 3 seconds.
I know.
Okay. 3, 2... Count down.
I am. This is my finger. I'm counting. Fine.
3, 2, 1... Sweet! Fantastic! Amazing! Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Floating Upstream. Episode 4 is lost to time itself, engulfed in endless nothingness, barking at the darkness as it encroaches. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So FUPS is our acronym?
FUS.
FUS. Okay. I like the P.
He's a big fan of the show, everybody.
I like the P. FUPS.
Okay.
FUPS.
FUPS.
Yeah.
That just sounds like we're fast UPS. That's not... we don't have a sponsorship deal. Stop it. Have you seen that weird? Have you seen that weird shit with? Okay, so do you know about HQ, that fucking iPhone game?
No.
Okay, so it's this one. It's for like iPhone only, but you can like play it on an iPad. But so you bet real world dollars, and it's literally a quiz show, and you have the possibility of winning actual money. It was started by one of the founders of Vine. And there's this guy named Scott that mostly hosts the show.
All his Twitter money.
Yeah, kind of. And they
The app died on the Vine. Oh man. That's pretty good.
So, the Daily Beast reached out to this dude for the host of the show, Scott, for an interview.
Is HQ short for headquarters?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And then they shoot an email to the.
That's not what I think of quiz trivia game show quiz app.
It's a little weird. It's actually super old, and then a bunch of people it's from like 2015 or 2014 or something, and a bunch of people started noticing, and all of a sudden, like, the viewing counts for these streams went upwards of like 100,000 concurrent. And so they send an email to like the founder of it, which is the founder of Vine or whatever, and I don't remember that dude's name, but they were like, oh, we interviewed Scott or whatever, could we get a couple quotes from you? And all of a sudden he calls them and goes, you are not allowed to interview Scott. Scott is a contract employee of headquarters. He is not allowed to speak on the behalf of HQ or its founding members. And they were like, what? Scott is the host of the show. He's just some asshole sitting in an apartment building and wearing a suit jacket, but people can tell he's wearing shorts underneath the table.
So is it a video?
Yes, it's a pre-recorded video. They do it twice a day, like at 10 a.m. and then like 5 p.m. or something like that.
Oh, okay. Is it the same video or he records them every day?
No, they are two separate things, and they are like 10 like pop quiz questions type stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of fun.
And Scott reads them?
Yes.
So can you only play at 10 and 2? Or
yeah, something like that, yeah.
That just seems very inconvenient.
I mean, I guess, but it's a game show.
No, but it's a game, but it's an app?
Yes. It is a live streaming, like, game app thing.
Okay. In my head, like, the mechanics of the behind the scenes of how you program that just seems very...
Oh, yeah, it sounds like a fucking nightmare. When it started exploding, they had, like, really bad load problems where, like, the app just kept crashing for people because too many people were trying to use it at the same time. Okay, so...
What are the rules? Is it the fastest to answer? Or you have to
no, everybody's just answering, and you're answering yourself and stuff.
Hundreds of, like, thousands of people playing. What if thousands of people get it right? Like, how is the money...
The questions are pretty hard, and the answers you have to answer pretty fast.
Okay.
I think the window is like maybe it's not...
Couldn't you just have, like, a computer and you can, like, Google?
You could, but for real, the window is like 5 to like 7 seconds. Okay. Or like 10 seconds or something.
You would have to know this?
Yes, you would need to like probably know it, or at least know what to fucking search, which I think is accounted for. So he goes, he cannot do that. At one point they had a quote of him saying like, the show is doing pretty good, but I'm still able to like go down to my favorite fucking salad restaurant or whatever and still get my salads and piece and everything. And he goes, he cannot say he gets the salad from that restaurant. We do not have a sponsorship deal with that restaurant. Like, all this shit. And then at the end of it, he says, and this is all off the record, by the way. And the interviewer goes, no, it's not. So that's what the actual story became was, oh, this fucking co-founder of Vine and the head of headquarters is a fucking insane person. Also, Scott seems like a nice guy.
Did this guy get fired?
He did threaten to fire him if that story ran. So currently, the story is that he is in a locked cage, and the co-founder of Vine keeps shocking him with a cattle prod until he is set free. #free Scott.
Please tell me that's not really a thing.
No, that is super a thing. Also, that is super a thing.
Hashtag free Scott.
Hashtag free. If you Google hashtag free Scott right now, I promise you'll find it.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
I need to download Twitter. I've yet to download Twitter.
I mean, if you want to, honestly, it's sifting through human garbage, which is fine.
Hey.
That's what a lot of the internet is.
I have Twitter for my magic stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. But again, it's an open sewer, and that's fine. That's fine. If that's what you want, it's perfectly suited for that. That's what it always was.
Well, politicians seem to love Twitter, so...
Well, a politician really loves Twitter. And
well, they all love Twitter.
Well, it gives them all an excuse to, like, take a dump on their lawn with nobody, like, looking down on you about it, which is weird, but that's what Twitter is.
Inform and communicate with their constituents.
Sure.
In a modern, real-time way.
And blast a lot of, like, racial shit and porn, because Twitter does not care about porn.
Huh. Really?
You tweet a thing, and then Valixia XXX Venson likes your post about water reform in Eaton County. That's a real, like, it's full of bots and shit, and that's fine, because that's what Twitter is. Hashtag free Scott.
We do not have a sponsorship with HQ.
We do not have a sponsorship with Scott. You cannot talk about Scott. Okay, so since those are lost to time, I'm going to try and splice in this wonderful little spontaneous thing where we both realized that Branden looked at me with passionate eyes and a gleam, a little bit of sweat dripping off his brow as he said, "You like Westworld too?"
Do you watch Westworld?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Have we talked about Westworld?
We've never talked about
what?
Hold the phone.
How do we not know?
Pause this movie.
How do we not know? How do I not know that you watch Westworld?
How the fuck do you?
Why do you not tell me anything, Doug?
Why do you not confide in me?
Do you have another family? Is that why you're busy all the time? Do you have like some family in South Dakota?
Some very sad children and a dead wife
that I don't know about.
That's all it is. Very sad children that I tell to do homework and eat their broccoli and then get back to your fucking StarCraft minds and become esports stars. And then I throw a beer bottle at them.
Anyways, Westworld, I'm trying to get my one friend into it, but she's being...
Dude, season 2 is coming out soon.
It's being difficult. I was season 2 is coming out. Pretty good.
I'm so excited about that shit. That show's so good.
Really
that fucking scene in like episode like, what was it, 3 or 4, where they're zooming in on that dude's face the whole time while they just keep sending him back through his fucking protocols of his like animations or whatever, and just keeps going through it over and over again, and there's no cuts, and they just keep zooming in on his face for like 6 minutes. So fucking good.
Oh, I think it's so funny when you talk about the technical stuff. It cracks me up. I really like, I'm happy they dusted off Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, they brought him out of his crypt. They sang the little song and sacrificed a child, and he came back out.
A perfect actor for the role.
Yeah. The second you see him, you go, yes.
It's very good acting.
Absolutely.
Acting decision. Oh my gosh, they did it so well. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! I could use my voice and put in a fun little sound.
Hell yeah.
The way they seamlessly did the parallel time scene thingies with the guy in black was like effortless.
Oh, it's so
good. And it was done so well that it was just done so well that like once it all comes around to the like beginning when they merge, when the time cycles merge or whatever, it's just
it's so good.
It's like ridiculous.
I usually just binge shows. That is one of the few shows besides Mr. Robot I've ever just felt the need to just fucking sit down and just think about the episode I just watched. Oh my god. Oh.
That's a good show. When does number 2? When does whatchamacallit come out?
When does what?
When does number 2 come out?
I don't know. I've been seeing ads for it. I wasn't paying attention.
I haven't seen ads.
My vision went blurry when I saw season 2, and then I woke up in my front yard and stuff. So
I haven't seen ads for it.
I will figure out a place to put that. Anyway,
I told you I like my idea much better.
What idea?
Doing a episode by episode review of Westworld season 2.
I would be if you want to fucking do that, I will fucking do that. I will do that. That could actually be...
work Sundays. I should try to make it so I open.
Yeah.
Well, is it on Sundays?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When the new season comes out, I should try to make it so I don't work Sundays or I open Sundays.
And then we fucking... Yeah.
I can watch it and then do a podcast immediately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had the ideas brewing.
I know. You just got to make sure you don't open Mondays.
People love... don't worry. There's only one shift for Sundays, and it all sucks.
No, I said you got to make sure you don't open Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's the show's at 10, it's over at 11.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, at 11, then we would do a podcast till midnight.
Whoa.
Like 8 a.m. You can't really do that.
Whoa. Anyway.
Can't you just work at noon on Mondays?
Technically, but...
It's only 10 weeks.
I mean, I already have enough, constraints on my fucking schedule anyway. People don't fucking care about that. Anyway.
Oh, really? Because we don't talk about anything on this podcast.
We talk about nothing about the most relevant of things. Hashtag free Scott.
Fucking kill you.
So Thor. How about we fucking talk about Thor? Thor's relevant. Thor seems to be doing okay. What'd you think of Thor?
It was all right.
Thor Ragnarok.
My favorite part was probably the first 5 minutes when Matt Damon and the guy from Jurassic Park, I never remember his actual name.
Oh my fucking
and
god!
And other celebrity are doing a play.
Yeah,
it's great. It's so funny.
It's super good.
Super hilarious cameos.
No. Such a good sting on Dark World. It's pretty good.
It's very funny.
Yeah, that movie is...
I thought it was very... I feel like for some people, for little kids, it was actually, I think it was more... I really think it was more of a comedy than an action movie. I feel like it was pretty light on the action compared to other Avenger-esque movies. It was... I laughed a lot, which I was surprised, because I wasn't going to like it as much if it was action, because I'm not a 12-year-old boy anymore. And so it was pretty good.
I think they've realized with a lot of these Marvel movies that comedy is going to be their shorthand if there's a lot of if the setup is complicated and there has to be a lot of setup. Mm-hmm. Because the first 30 minutes of Thor Ragnarok is fucking set up for the rest of that movie. Considering they blast through 7 years of Thor comics in 30 minutes. And they run to Doctor Strange, and then there's that funny gag where where he makes his brother fall back in his room, and he was like, "I've been falling for 30 minutes." I laughed really hard at that.
Of course you did. I feel like Marvel movies are never. I feel like Disney has decided that the audience for Marvel movies is not Marvel comic book readers.
No, not at all.
It is for the parents, again, of 12-year-old boys who want to buy Disney merchandise.
Yeah.
Because that is where Disney's cash cow is.
And Marvel enthusiasts who are okay with very what if scenarios with the original source material, considering fucking, as an example, did you see Guardians 2?
Yes.
For example, Star-Lord's dad is not fucking Ego the Living Planet in the comics. I don't know if you knew that, but I explained that to Kay because she was like, "Oh, that was in the comics," and I was like, "Fuck no, that wasn't in the comics." Ego the Living Planet. It was cool to see Ego the Living Planet in the movie. Anyway, so yeah, Thor, very funny. I also like that they were so we can never do the Planet Hulk shit, but here's Thor walking around and wearing gladiatorial armor and sort of talking. That's weird.
Your computer gonna die?
No, it says that it's about to sign out of Windows.
Why?
I don't know. That's weird. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Somebody also don't listen to it, but...
True enough. Anyway.
I know, did you see... Oh yeah, we already talked about this.
Also, did you like the rock guy in that or whatever?
Yes.
Oh, hello there.
He was so funny. Especially it was pretty poignant because I had just lost the election, and then so when he was talking about his revolution, he's I didn't pass on the pamphlet. I was like, bro, I totally feel you.
Oh, you just sound like Doug. Ain't that right, Doug? All right, Doug's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye, new Doug. Did you know that's the director?
No.
Yeah.
Nifty.
Oh, yeah, there
At
goes.
the end when he's like, what's his name's dead, but I've been carrying around his body.
Oh, he's alive. Celebrations.
But then the one part he's like, he's like, are these eggs or what's coming out of you? What's this gook?
What's this goop?
Coming out of you, whatever word he uses.
Oh, yeah, there goes the laptop.
Huh. Dude, I don't think it's signed out of Windows. I'm pretty sure the battery died.
It's plugged in.
Yeah, but maybe your charger sucks.
I think technology is revolting against us. I think this is its first steps.
It's revolting against you.
It's Planet of the Apes shit.
Technology likes you.
You sure?
I think so.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, maybe.
Boy, that's strange. I guess I'm gonna have to find that out later.
Nope.
I updated Windows yesterday, and I knew that was a bad idea.
Why?
Because I've had nothing but trouble with Windows 10, even though Windows 10 is far better than 8 or fucking Vista.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, technology. So, yeah. So the one other thing I'd say is that Marvel formula, like, feels... You can fucking time your watch by how often gags happen in that movie at this point. Like, talk, gag, gag, gag. Like... And, like, some of it's pretty good. I still really appreciate the one where, like, he's about to break out of the fucking cell or whatever, and he takes Hulk's ball or whatever, and, like, just throws it and just beans himself. That one was very perfectly timed. That one was really good. But, yeah, the only thing I'm worried about at this point is that, like, comedy is a good shorthand for Marvel, and I'm worried by the time they get the memo that everyone is fucking tired of comedy all the time for these movies, they're going to be, like, 3 movies into another thing by the time they get that memo, before they can change anything.
I'm not tired of the comedy.
You're not tired of it? You don't think you'd be tired of it in another 3 movies?
No.
No?
I was
2 a year?
I haven't even watched the whole...
2 a year, you wouldn't be sick of that?
No, I haven't even watched the whole Avengers. I never finished Avengers 1.
You never finished Avengers 1?
No, because it's so boring.
Avengers 1?
There's nothing to, like... It's just so much setup, and it's just like... I'm just like... Bleh.
See, I found Avengers 2 intolerable. I
watched Avengers 2 all the time.
It's the one with bad Ultron.
What's the ones that have Spider-Man and the
Spider-Man first showed up in Captain America 3 Civil War.
The UN one. I saw the one where they deal with the UN.
This is Civil War.
Okay, never mind. That's the only Avengers I've all watched all the way through.
That is a Captain America.
I mean the Avengers universe.
It basically is an Avengers movie because Civil War was an actually huge thing, but yeah, they cut it down to like
kind of upset with. I will say I'm upset with the way Disney watered down the Civil War.
Sure. But they didn't want to have a 9/11 discussion. They were just like, do you like freedom or not? Because the way they phrase that in the movie, no one's going to side with Tony. There's no conversation there. You're not going to side with Tony in that scenario. Anyway, so that's Thor Ragnarok. Pretty fun, really colorful. I love all the colors, and I love like just how it looks. I thought it looked great.
Yeah, the plane is pretty cool. Jeff Goldblum is hilarious.
Jeff Goldblum, I find very fun. Anyway.
What was that?
My Jeff Goldblum impression. Anyway. Moving.
They're not slaves.
So,
I prefer to call them.
Oh, what was captives with jobs or something?
Yeah.
That one was a little on the nose, but I was like, yeah, you get one of those. As long as I don't see like a hashtag slaves lives matter or something somewhere in the background, I'll be fine. How about you tell me about Murder on the Oriental Express, because I am actually very interested in that movie and I have yet to see it and I would like to hear more about it.
Well, fine, I guess so.
Didn't like it?
No, it was. I did like it. Maybe you can Google it for me. I feel like I've never seen him before, but he must be another thing. His name is Avery Dot. The guy who plays the detective in the movie is great. It was was a perfect casting. He really makes the movie. And kind of actually, I think maybe to my delight, spoiler alert, to my delight, Johnny Depp plays the guy who gets killed on the train. And I'm happy about that because I don't know, his acting was not all that great. Or maybe they just gave him a bad character, I don't know. Okay. I was not real thrilled with Johnny Depp's performance in this movie, but luckily all he had to do was like 20 minutes of commentary and then he died. So they got rid of him.
So it is a murder mystery, right? Yeah. Like it's not like a okay.
Yeah, it's basically they took the murder mystery dinner train concept and turned it into a movie.
Okay, I'm into that. Everyone has a fancy mustache.
A lot of people have fancy mustache, and they have an interesting cast of like. I feel like they were probably the cast, the director, and whoever the casting. What do they call that person that does casting?
Sure, casting director.
Yeah. Casting director. Shut up! I hate you so much. Whoever made the movie were like. They handed them a paper and it was like, this page has A-list celebrities, and the movie executive handed it to them. They're like, oh, sorry, whoops, wrong page for you. Here's the page of casting of B-level stars that we've decided you can afford in your budget for this movie. Because everybody in this movie was like sort of well known, or their careers had ended. Like, I bet Michelle Pfeiffer was happy to have work.
Yeah, I bet she was, like, the mail came in her mailbox, and she was like, that must be a mistake.
Yeah, then, the guy who played, I only ever remember him, he's a pretty good known actor, I guess I should, I only ever remember him, he played Green Goblin in the original Spider-Man.
Oh, Jeff Bridges?
No, not Jeff Bridges.
It's Jeff... Because he's in The Following, too.
Anyway, so, he's on there. And then, like, everybody else is, like, semi-famous.
Cosner? Wait, isn't he also in fucking Chicago Fire or whatever that fucking stupid show is?
Yes, I think so.
I'm surprised I don't remember his name.
Yeah, but anyway, so that guy's in there. So, yeah, it's a whole cast of people who are semi-famous.
Okay.
But they put together a good performance.
Okay, cool. You were happy with the ending?
Yeah.
Was it like a good twist?
The ending was great.
Okay.
Because, they do a great, a lot of movies a lot of movies do this, but they do a great, he, like, gets everybody together, and then he does the whole Sherlock Holmes thing where he, like, solves the case.
Oh, nice.
Dramatic 5-minute monologue.
I'm surprised those Sherlock Holmes
montages and other things.
Robert Downey Jr. movies didn't do better. Don't get me wrong, that second movie's not fucking great, but...
Yeah, I don't know, they were good. I liked them.
I liked the first one a lot. Mm. So, I saw Justice League, speaking of stinky things. Only thing I really have to say about that movie is, it is still bad, but like through war of attrition, one of these movies will eventually be like a 5 out of 10 out of nothing else than just not being able to compare it to anything good in DC. So they're just going to be like, well, this is the least offensive of the bunch.
I think to have her talking to one of my co-workers who is a female, I think half of the moviegoers to the show only went to see Aquaman without a shirt on.
I mean, yes.
I think that's how they sold half their movie.
If you want some beefcake, there's some beefcake in this movie. If you're looking for the beefcake rating, it's like on the upper side of juicy, like with like the meat like dripping and all that. But fucking Superman has his fucking mustache CGI'd off because the fucking movie company couldn't pay him enough money from the other movie company to just fucking shave his stupid mustache. That's pretty funny. What a great use of money.
Could have helped so many kids in Rwanda. But it's just CGI. What's his
just, he can't.
I feel like he's not that in demand of an actor to be able to make those demands.
Well, he's Superman for right now. Whereas Ben Affleck, there is rumors that he might be done with being Batman, actually. Yeah, well, considering DC canceled his Batman movie. Because that was the whole thing he signed up for, was he gets to direct a Batman movie and he'll be Batman.
Well, didn't they do it? I thought he has sexual misconduct allegations.
No, he totally does. Don't get me wrong. Oh, yeah, that's another thing I'll be splicing in at some point, is us going, wow, I can't believe how many celebrities are still getting sexual harassment or sexual misconduct or fucking everything under the sun. Yeah. Holy shit. I guess we don't really need to. We already just summarized it up a little bit there.
I don't want to sound like a chauvinist or be that guy, but
it's Ben Affleck. Well, no, you suck that dick.
I'm just saying, like, well, maybe this is like totally.
He directed The Town, man.
It's totally maybe partisan, but like they're reporting on like Senator Al Franken, who like touched a lady's butt when they took a picture. I was just like, I don't know if that's really. Like, it's inappropriate, but I mean, to roll it in with like Harvey Weinstein and all the others, I was like. I don't know. I just feel like that's a little much. When
the jar hits the tipping point, I guess it all comes out and not the filtered actual important stuff, I guess.
Like no, if they didn't say you could touch your butt, no, you shouldn't touch your butt. But I think there is like a
between that and actual monsters, like Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Turns out a guy spending half his career talking about masturbating actually does a lot of masturbating.
Yeah.
That's sad. R.I.P. my Netflix playlist, I guess. Oh well. Anyway.
Didn't Netflix pull all his stuff?
I think so. I'm waiting to see if they just end up doing the same thing to fucking Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey is almost like God.
I don't think they won't pull their own stuff.
What if they just edit him out? It's just blank space. House of Cards without space, the unspacey edition, I would watch that.
I'm really torn on Kevin Spacey just because I love House of Cards so much.
I loved the first 3 seasons of House of Cards.
We disagree wholeheartedly on this, which is fine.
I don't know how you liked the newest one where he fucking went to the Illuminati camp.
Because that shit happens in politics.
The Illuminati camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's forces that control our politics that are beyond the reach.
That's fine, but I think you can do that in a slightly more real, introduce it
more realistic. It wasn't like they went into some temple in the middle of the woods and all had cloaks and shit. But there's totally, I don't remember what it's called. There is I've seen this because I watch political dramas. There's this thing called the Thomas Jefferson dinner or somewhere. There's Memorial Day dinner where people who want to be president or get invited, and there's or people who are running for president go, or people who are potentially going to be presidential candidates go and meet super donors at this Memorial Day weekend dinner, and it's a part of our national politics.
Sure, but I feel like the closer you get to that stuff is when you start becoming aware of that. So if they really wanted that to happen, I think they should have introduced that closer to when he was getting elected, not when he's fucking already in the office. That's the part that I think is...
Re-election.
Huh?
You're always running for re-election.
You're always running for re-election, but why was he just not aware of it until then? You know what I mean?
The first time he didn't run for election. He got himself to he became president by not getting elected.
Well, sure, but I don't know.
We're gonna disagree to disagree.
That's fine. That's fine.
But they set up the ending pretty well because the whole next season is supposed to be about what's her name. So I feel like.
But I don't like her that much either. Really? I didn't like her since season 2. Season 2, I thought she was interesting, but past that, I don't know.
Well, you know what? I love House of Cards, so you can suck it.
Okay. House of Cards, you can suck it. Quote, Kevin Spacey.
It's so bad. I knew I walked right into that.
That was way more real than I was expecting it to be, so I do apologize. But so okay, so there's all that. Me and Kate saw Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude. So the way better part is.
Who's the main guy in Snowman?
I'm gonna.
Michael Keaton.
It's not Michael Keaton. I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna.
Michael Keaton lookalike.
It's no, because it's a guy that like straight up does a lot of like schlocky, shitty movies, and I really want to get this guy's name right because he's in like a ton of shit.
Just in case you care, Doug, my thing is still recording.
Okay, cool, awesome.
I'm paranoid about it.
Thank you, fantastic, amazing. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a setting that it says like 16 KHZs. Is that like how?
That's the data being transferred, and like the data rate, okay, as it were.
How come it says 38 hours, comma?
Michael Fassbender.
Oh yeah.
Michael Fassbender is the star of this movie, and it's called The Snowman. This movie should have actually been called Michael Fassbender Stares at People and Smokes a Lot, because that's. So
it's about a killer snowman, right? Or
okay, so let me set the scene here. It is almost Halloween. I offered to take Kate to.
Oh no, okay, you were in real life.
I offered to take Kate to Boo 2, Tyler Perry Halloween, blah 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 blah, that thing, and opt myself to not have a good afternoon because
it's a Madea movie.
Yeah, it's a Madea movie, and I'm like, Kate will like that. She goes, no, I don't really want to laugh. Let's go see The Snowman. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then, as it turns out, I got to laugh for the better part of like almost 2 hours. That movie is such a fucking train wreck. It is amazing. It opens with Michael Fassbender just sleeping in a park, and it just sort of zooms in on his face. And like, it's supposed to be that he's an alcoholic, but they never show him like drinking that much, so he's just like sleeping on the side of the road or something. It just randomly cuts to like him staring at people eating happy in a restaurant and shit. Oh my god. So what the premise for this movie is there is a serial killer who keeps killing women, and like either, it's a little inconsistent here, but either dismembers all their body parts and just leaves them like in the snow. In one case, he put a lady's head on a snowman.
Oh.
And then with guys, he seems very consistent about blowing their head off with a shotgun.
Oh, jeez.
And then putting a snowman head on them.
Oh.
And like, it's terribly fucking, it's terribly CGI'd, and like, oh my god, why did I fucking close it? Because there's another fucking.
Super gory. It sounds super gory.
I don't know if you count it as gory, if it just looks bad. Like, there's another shitty actor in this, and I'm trying to remember his name.
No.
There's a lot of big name actors. Hey, Elsa, fuck. Why can't I have nice things? Anyway, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer is also in this.
That's funny.
And
I think I played Fez, right?
What? Val Kilmer?
Yeah, I thought he played Fez.
No.
No.
No, this is Val Kilmer, Spongeface.
Hey, where I can't see all of it.
Hang on, let's.
I'm blind.
Like, he was in like Top Gun and shit.
Oh, that guy.
Val Kilmer. So
now that Valderrama is right, they're both.
Yes.
That's why I got the Val.
Yes. Yeah, Valderrama, I think is what you're thinking.
Whatever. So that's the guy that plays Fez, right?
Yes.
Valderrama or something?
Yeah, something like that. So it also randomly cuts back to this dude, and to Val Kilmer's character. What?
Is this the killer? Not a spoiler.
No. No, the killer is a terrible flashback at the beginning of the movie too, where like it's this shit kid doing shit kid things, and then he walks in on his parents having sex or something, and then he drives away all angry, and his mom like drives herself into a lake or something.
Why? It's the second season.
I promise you, it's not that much well explained even in the movie. This movie has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like as a
what?
8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
As context here, this movie is long and awful, and I had a great time. If you want to see Michael Fassbender try to act his way out of a paper bag and not succeed, like he's still just fumbling around in the wet paper bag, it's a fun time. Hashtag free Fassbender. That Fassbender is so free. Anyway, I am trying to remember if there was any other movies that either of us have seen that we intended to talk about.
Did you ever do a podcast for whatchamacallit? What movie did you see?
What movie?
I think you did. I just didn't send it.
Are you talking about It?
No.
Or The Happy Death Day?
The one you recorded in the car.
Oh, Kingsman. Yeah, Kingsman went up as like a current, quick currents is what we ended up.
Oh, that's what you said to go with.
Dude, what did you prefer?
I don't know. I don't even remember.
The us discussing the name is in the end of that fucking episode.
Sounds good.
I love you too, Brandon.
Sounds fantastic.
So, let's see here. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball and a lot of Dragon Ball Super and joining the internet and being upset and then waiting until the next episode comes out to also be upset again. But, so that's a thing.
Christy and Jesse had their kid.
Ah!
Amelia Lynn Barber.
Oh my god!
November 24th at 6 pounds, 6 ounces. Ooh, she has a weird face. She looks like E.T.
I'm gonna have to cut that part out.
Why?
Congratulations, Jesse and Barb! Oh my god!
Weird face.
Babies have weird faces. What do you?
It looks like E.T.
Well, sure. Like
I haven't had a child.
Dude,
I don't know.
if you want to Photoshop in a glowing finger, we can do that, but that'll be an after the fact. That will not be right now. I've also been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. God damn, I fucking love that show. I fucking forgot how much I love that show.
That's totally a show you would, but it does not surprise me.
Oh, dude.
I watched the first episode. I just haven't got around. I haven't got.
Dude, episode 2 is like, oh my god.
Too busy.
It's so fucking good. Kate fucking hates that show to death. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess now is the time for another new segment that Doug was thinking about, which is called Album Roundup. And I'm gonna add in like some like country music and like a yeehaw.
I didn't say you get to add.
I don't get to add.
As an executive producer, I did not approve that.
But I listened through.
By the way, I gave my title executive producer.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fair. I'm just a lowly director. I answer to you.
Exactly.
But I went through like a fuck ton of albums, and I was just interested in saying these are good and these are bad. 17 by XXXTentacion. First half is good, second half is bad. Forever is a Mighty Long Time by Big Crit. The first album, pretty good. Second disc, I didn't dig it.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm going through like every fucking album that I've been blasting through lately to fucking... Beach House 3, Ty Dolla $ign. Pretty awesome. I'm fucking pissed it didn't come out like at the beginning of summer. I've said this before. I think that album is perfect for like drinking an inappropriate amount of alcohol at like 7 in the morning on a Tuesday. Like while you're on the beach.
Who? What?
Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh.
Beach House 3.
Oh. Yep. I like Ty Dolla $ign.
It's pretty good. I also like Ty Dolla $ign. ASAP Mob, Cozy Tapes Volume 2. Not a fan. Didn't really... I think ASAP Rocky is...
All of these?
Yeah, I went through a lot of fucking albums, dude. Critical by SZA. By SZA? SZA?
Songs while you work at McDonald's
and or while I'm driving and shit like that. Just going through album after album. The Critical, pretty fucking awesome, actually. There's a song with Kendrick Lamar that's talking about pussy are like doves in the wind. It's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Oh, by the way, there's this fucking Portland rapper who I'm desperately hoping gets some more groundswell, whose name is Wynne. Wynne. She's fucking fantastic. She is great, and she's like 19. Let's see. I went through Flockazili by Waka Flocka Flame again because I said to myself, I really want to fucking listen to some Flockazili. That album is still fun. Let's see. Gemini by Macklemore is fine. It's fine. It's a Macklemore album. I don't think it's as like impressive as his previous work, but I guess that's just me.
Are you a Macklemore fan?
I was for a long time. I think Ryan Lewis was more of an influential force on him than I think he or anyone else would like to admit. But I mean, that's fine.
What did you say? I was one.
Ryan Lewis.
Who's Ryan Lewis?
The other guy's name on the album from Macklemore's first album.
Oh, okay.
That no one ever remembered. And he rightfully left, but that's about it. It's an album by 21 Savage. It's fine. It's a 21 Savage. Wiz Khalifa's new mixtape, Laugh Now, Fly Later, fucking sucks. Good fucking lord. Fucking sucks. Mr. Davis by Gucci Mane. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. Never been as much of a Gucci Mane fan as I have been a Waka Flocka Flame fan, but that being said, pretty good. It's alright. JID, Never the Story. JID, real fucking awesome. Real fucking awesome new dude for 2017. I think he's pretty good.
What's his name?
JID.
JID?
Yeah. J.I.D. And Earth Gang, who is a friend of his. So, like, both of those dudes I think are people should, like, look out for. But, you know, that's just me. Let's see here. Is there anything else? Maroon 5's new album. Pretty bad. They trick me every time they fucking put out a new album. Because I go, oh, this will be the one that has a bunch of good songs on it that aren't just on the fucking radio. What?
Nothing. I just saw a hilarious thing your wife posted. The Target Mom and Target Kid shirts. Noun. Target Mom. Noun. Another, mother who finds any reason for a Target run never buys only what's on her list. Enjoys strolling through every aisle and raiding the clearance section. See also, happy multitasker, smart, and cartwheel genius. Target kid, a kid who loves going on a Target run with mom. Constantly asking for toys, always wants a Slippy or a cake pop. See also, happy child, toy negotiator, dollar section enthusiast. I feel like that sums up your wife perfectly. And she posted it, so it's not a...
it's not a slam.
Not a slam.
Did you know Wu-Tang put out a new album this year?
Nope.
It's called The Saga Continues. It's pretty good. I like it.
Did you ever hear how Wu-Tang, like, did that weird
thing that fucking exclusive album with fucking Skrelly?
Albums and was like in one in the museum.
Yeah. They put one that was exclusively to a particular type of speaker, and you could only play it through the speaker. I'm into that shit. I like that. Mm-hmm. Super Slime by Future and Young Thug.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's not great. There's Feed Me Dope is a pretty good song, but besides that, yeah. Jaden Smith put out an album.
Oh, I heard about this.
Those songs range between interesting to okay to bad, but it was a fun time going through it. Mm. Young Dolph, Thinking Out Loud. I fucking love this album a lot. Holy shit, I cannot say enough good things about this album. Thinking Out Loud, Young Dolph. Fuck, so good. And then, sorry, two more. I know I'm maybe going a little long here, but Without Warning, 21 Savage, Offset, and I forget who the other person is. I feel like an asshole. But I just don't remember who the fuck. I don't remember. Metro Boomin. It was Metro Boomin. Why did I question myself? It's pretty good. There's a song at the beginning called Ghostface Killers, so I had a feeling I was gonna like it, but you know. You have your hand like directly on the microphone. Don't make me slap you with the newspaper. And then one last one that I'll actually say has been a surprise for me in the last like 48 hours that just kept showing up on like random playlists I was listening to. And I was like, okay, so what's going on with this album? So her name is Rachel Platten. Or Platten? I think it's Platten. She's the fight song lady. This is my fight song, take back my life song, and a right song. That one. she has a new album out, and she put out like 3 like independent albums before signing with Columbia. So she's been around the block. I really like this album, including there's this song called Shivers that I've literally had stuck in my head for the last like 48 hours. I really like this album. I was actually really surprised. Hope I didn't clear everybody out there. All right. Guess we're going to do another sync test real quick here. Boy, we're having like crazy luck here. This is wonderful. Are you still recording?
Yep.
Tell me you're still recording. Okay. Come on. Hey.
What?
Count down with me here.
Why?
3, 2, 1. Because my fucking microphone stopped recording. Technology! Once that soundboard gets in, all of this will be smoothed over, thankfully. Anyway. Hope I didn't make everyone go away with my fucking music talk. I can tell Branden seems very enthused.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Branden? Hey. Hey, Branden?
Yes.
Hey, Branden.
Doug.
Hey, Branden. So, I've heard legends. I've heard talk of this thing called Series Spotlight. What are you watching? What's on your horizon?
I'm watching Mindhunter.
Yeah.
On Netflix about the dramatization. Actually, I haven't checked if it's like historically accurate or if it's like, I'm pretty sure it's based on a true thing. At least I think it is. If not, then
would you call it's a show about like the invention of profiling?
Yes, that's exactly what I was just gonna say, Dirk.
Well, that's why I was asking. Like,
yeah, you let me finish my sentence.
Well, how about you?
So it's about 2 FBI guys that interview serial killers, and it's in like the 1970s or 80s. In the FBI behavioral science unit, they create, I guess they kind of basically create the behavioral science unit, okay. And the beginning of serial killer profiling.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. I already fucking mentioned Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super and all that. So instead, I guess I'll plug a YouTube channel I've been watching like pretty extensively for about the last week called Geekdom 101, and it's literally 100% historical breakdowns of Dragon Ball Z lore. And this is a guy that has literally gone through like everything, through every manga, every interview with the creator and everything, and like just does these videos of like, here's this character and everything about them, or here's everything going on with this series, or why was this thing weird, like stuff like that. It's fun if you're into it and you're okay sifting. It's similar to Twitter. If you're okay sifting through the shit, it's fun.
I thought about doing that for my magic blog, talking about magic lore and history, because that's one of my favorite parts.
You're going to say Dragon Ball lore.
No.
Like, I mean, you'll get an audience for that with magic. That's one of my favorite
parts of magic, and it's really, I think, an overlooked part.
Yeah.
Wizards has done a better part of accentuating it now. It's actually got a lot more. It used to be the least read part of the website, and then they did a whole big website redesign and some other changes with their marketing and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like the most frequented part. You
think they would gain anything from like starting to do like audiobooks, like audiobook, like lore offshoot stuff?
I don't know.
Like stories in the Magic the Gathering universe.
They actually do a pretty good job of.
Do they have a tabletop version? I just thought about that. Have they ever broken out their thing to a?
Speaking of, there was just. I haven't actually seen it go around the Magicverse very much. I need to post the link on my blog. WizKids, who owns who is the big D&D licensee from Wizards. They license the D&D for, I think, the D&T tabletop.
Okay.
There's rumors that they just signed a deal for a Magic license of either a tabletop or it may not be go that far. Well, I don't know, because the only thing they mentioned in the article was possibly what they're calling like premium tokens. So it would be because like imagine cards create common creatures. They create like a soldier token, skeleton tokens, blah blah blah. They were talking about premium 3D tokens that you could like put on the table.
Oh, nice.
The card is like, I create 3 skeletons. You'd be like, bam, 3 skeletons.
Bam, 3 skeletons.
And but I don't know if it will extend. There is actually a Magic Hasbro. It sold horribly. Hasbro made. Do you remember HeroScape?
Yes.
Hasbro's failed attempt.
At
a Mage Knight. Recreation thingy. So basically, they kind of turned to Magic. They did a Magic version of HeroScape. It was called Magic Planeswalker Arena.
Okay.
That did not sell very well. But I can tell you though, I bought it when it was 50% off at the clearance section at my end.
So you got your thing.
I wanted it just because I'm a Magic fan, but I couldn't. It was like $40 or $50 for the starter kit, so really pretty pricey. And it was fun to play. I played once or twice against Wally, but it wasn't fantastic.
You ever think about getting into Warhammer?
No, I could not do that.
Yeah, like fucking. Have you ever seen the prices for this? Fuck, dude. No. Like $150 for some of those shits that you have to paint yourself.
Yeah, no, that's absurd.
God,
I'm on it. They're trying to they're doing like a Mage Knight rehash or reboot. That I kind of want to get you can get like all the expansions for like $150.
That sounds alright.
Okay.
Right. I forgot one other thing for Serious Spotlight is the Punisher Netflix show just came out.
My coworker's watching it, so she loves it. I haven't liked any of the Marvel's Netflix. I haven't watched
none of them?
I haven't watched it, but they just don't look good to me.
I'm going to be like, they all have problems.
The only one I would watch is Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones is good. Yeah. But the one thing I'll say about that is there's a part where the show ends and then there's 4 more episodes. Don't watch the other episodes.
Why?
Because they're bad and they're pointless. They don't go anywhere. The show ends. Like, they stopped the villain and then they went, shit, we were approved for 13 episodes and then went on for 4 more episodes. They're bad. And that's the problem with all of those Netflix shows have problems. Daredevil season 1 is like the least offensive of the bunch. It's good. If you want to see people die real hard, there's also like a really awesome fight in the hallway, and then there's a door murder that's really good. There's a really good door murder where somebody with a door. Yeah, it's really good. It's pretty good. If you want to see some like for real murder, there's some good murder. But yeah. So, let's see. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, plug your shit. Hey. There's something on your mouth.
I should eat it now, I guess, probably.
So, plug your shit.
If you're interested in Magic the Gathering, mtginfinite.com.
Infinite.
A hub for Magic the Gathering stories from around the internet multiverse.
So, I have probably already, hopefully, remembered to edit in the stuff from the beginning of our thing where I was talking about how we are on iTunes and Stitcher. We have a Libsyn account and a page, fuspodcast.libsyn.com. We are on iTunes. We are on Stitcher. I've Googled our name with non-biased Google, and it shows up. It shows up like real soon. So that's good. That's real good. We're on all those things. There's a video version of the podcast on youtube.com/UR, the letters, set to, the number, fail. You are set to fail. There's a video version of the podcast if you would prefer. If you want to download that version actually has the uncompressed audio file. So that's cool, I guess, if you would rather have that in non-compressed audio. Because I have to compress the audio and lower the bit rate at which it's delivered. So like it can sound a little chunky if you have like nicer speakers or headphones. But like that's bandwidth. Nobody, I'm not fucking Total Biscuit who can put up a fucking 3-hour podcast and go, okay, it's 300 megabytes. Enjoy my 3-hour show because I don't compress the audio because I'm Total Biscuit.
Total Biscuit.
He's a British man who moved to America and was very big in the StarCraft scene and World of Warcraft, and now he's people like him a lot. He's been fighting cancer for like the last like year and a half or something like that, and it's been going well for him. And in the meantime, he likes making a lot of jokes about how he makes an insane amount of money, and then talks about all these mobile games that he throws like way too much money into. Co-optional podcast. It's pretty awesome. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Coaxial or means like co-op game?
No, like co-op game. Yeah. Okay, and there's like usually 3 hosts, him and then Jesse Cox and Dodger, who is a very nice lady. So, as a final thought here...
Are we going to become YouTube stars, too?
I think we'll be YouTube stars.
Oh, well, I guess podcast stars?
I want to... Well, you can be both, technically. That's true. So, let me ask you this.
Especially, I want to do summer video podcasts in the pool.
Yeah!
With glasses.
Hell yeah!
And,
drinking an insane amount of alcohol.
Sure.
Sure.
I don't know if we can do that.
While you're podcasting?
I have to blur out my face. Remember, I'm going to be a politician.
Well, there's no video.
Oh, I know. I wanted to do a video.
Oh, you want to do a video? Okay, yeah, we can do that too.
I wanted to be like a game show host or a talk show host when I was
okay. Well, hey, let me tell you.
I wanted to be a Regis Philbin when I was like 12.
Let me phrase it this way. A lot of these podcasts nowadays are doing video broadcasts to like Twitch and stuff like that, and have a concurrent like fan base that checks in on that, and you get ad revenue from that, and then they export it as an audio file for everybody like after the show is done. And I think that might be a thing we look into later in life. Maybe not at the time being, but at some point I would like to do that. So, Branden, let me send you out with like one final thought here.
God.
If ever in the recesses of your mind, while you're sitting at home in the dark, you're too tired to turn on the TV, you're too hungry to just sit there, you ever just wonder yourself for a minute, man, I could buy a ski mask and just like masturbate into a webcam for like 20 minutes and just pay my rent?
No.
If I just did that once a week.
I've never thought about that.
You ever thought about that, Branden?
I don't pay rent, so...
Food for thought. Have a good day, everybody. I'll see y'all next time.
Out.
So this is why we don't let Branden have control over the microphone, because he can stop when the recording happens. I'm still recording.
Bam. Finished.
You're still recording?